What's good, YouTube? It's your boy KNeutron. So apparently, Guild Wars 3 has just been announced? Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy. We gotta react to this. Y'all already know Guild Wars 2 is known to be one of the top, maybe top 5 MMOs to be released in our generation. So we gotta react to this news. Let's see.
You know it's a good day when you wake up and see news that one of the largest, most influential, arguably, most popular free-to-play MMOs get a confirmed sequel. That's just
Arguably, definitely one of the most best MMOs as far as free-to-play.
That's what happened with Guild Wars 2. When I first mentioned NCSoft were potentially developing a Guild Wars 3, people told me, "Hey, Sticks, you're freaking crazy. There's no way that can be the case." When I followed up several years later with confirmation that NCSoft were actually hiring programmers to create an MMO and an already pre-existing intellectual property, people said, "Hey, Sticks, there's no way that that could be Guild Wars 2. The game is too healthy, the staple of NCSoft's roster of games, and by association, potential to make a quality game." Yet according to multiple sources online, more specifically Inven, which documented
Just look at this. Just currently look at what's being shown on the screen right now. That's in-game from Guild Wars 2. But the class system and everything, I really do think that NCSoft definitely did they shit with Guild Wars 2. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie. Guild Wars 2 is definitely fun.
Microsoft's shareholders meeting on the 28th, and several websites that have since covered and translated the reveal, Guild Wars 3 is already deep in development, much further than any of us likely even thought possible after this announcement. But what would a Guild Wars 3 look like? Will it differ fundamentally from Guild Wars 2? Is it the same team that's working on it? And how is this ultimately going to affect Guild Wars 2, especially given ArenaNet's commitment to releasing more frequent expansions each year? That's where we're going to go ahead today and try to find out. Before we delve into Guild Wars 3, however, I'm going to thank our incredible patrons over on Patreon. Your guys' support is why I can continue to make videos like this every single month, and I deeply appreciate you all being there for me. The investors meeting began by acting chairman Park Myung-moo, who we'll just refer to as Park for the remainder of this video, stating that the global gaming market in 2023 is very unstable, and NCSoft have experienced difficulties both internally and externally, resulting in a decline in stock price. With how poorly Throne and Liberty did in Korea, and NCSoft's recent statement.
Oh, that's right. So NCSoft is the company over Throne and Liberty. It'll pause. But NCSoft is the company over Throne and Liberty, as well as Blue Protocol, which, I mean, I haven't been able to hop on either one of them, which I definitely got to. I know that. But I do know that they haven't really had such good releases as far as, especially in their own personal countries and, countries of origin. So let's see.
Amazon Game Studios to essentially save the game with Ion, Blade and Soul, Lineage, and their other mobile games all doing poorly. Well, this was to be expected. Park followed this up with a statement referring to the company's history over the last 20 years. If you look back at NC's history, there are a number of successful IPs that were developed independently in Korea, which is true. Ion, Lineage, Blade and Soul, all MMORPGs that did fantastic financially until they were ruined.
Well, a lot of those ended up being ruined by microtransactions or other in-game problems that a lot of people had with the systems, and the company tended to be greedy instead of listening to its fans. But that was neither here nor there.
NCSoft's mismanagement and greed. I am confident that NC will be able to
develop its
capacity for sustainable development again. With regards to new intellectual properties, unlikely. Potentially by expanding on already existing intellectual properties like Lineage, Ion, or Blade and Soul, because they already carry a fan base. He then goes on to confirm innovation for change has already begun, further elaborating on NCSoft's global vision by stating this year is NCSoft's first step forward as a global game company. I dare say it's the first year, explaining that they're in the process currently of releasing numerous different games that are going to fill a variety of different categories, subgenres, some of which haven't been done before, like the new.
Well, I don't really know how I feel about companies continue to work on new games after the games that they've already tried to release. Throne and Liberty and Blue Protocol, for example, can't really get a good foot or a good standing off. I definitely do think that they should probably focus on one, the global release for Throne and Liberty, and definitely two, the global release for Blue Protocol, because not gonna lie, the global release for Protocol right now is a shitstorm. I mean, I was hyped for the game, then heard absolutely nothing about it, then that hype slowly and surely left. So, we definitely have a little more to see about NC Soft, though. I don't know.
Open world Trailblazer game, among many others. The CEO, Kim Taek-jin, is in the process of traveling around the world at present in an active effort to expand not only their brand, but also their scope and games by engaging in global collaborations. As noted, one of the most important.
I think that's pretty cool how the creators or the developers are, traveling or, just exploring the global world just to see how large of a scope they could go with their games. But I do think that, nothing really is new under the sun as far as games wise, because there's been a lot of games that have changed as far as like the scenery or what you're seeing or the scope of that game. I mean, hey, it's neither here nor there. We have no clue what they're going to be releasing, especially if they're going for the next gen of MMOs, which is probably a step that Riot's MMO took by saying that they weren't going to release the game. But, like I said, that's neither here nor there.
Routes for the company's success moving into the future is establishing a foundation for globalization, along with continuous investment to increase new IPs. 2024 is going to be a very important year for NCSoft and its shareholders, with much of its potential success riding on how well received Throne and Liberty is globally. A question was asked of Park. NC West has been running a deficit for 8 years, and I don't understand why the person in charge remains the same. NC West is a North American studio in charge of Lineage, Ion, Guild Wars, Blade and Soul across America, Europe, and Oceania. Park goes on to respond to this by confirming that originally, NCSoft had 6 studios within the United States, and after extensive work, with likely quite substantial costs, every studio was integrated into one, ArenaNet. ArenaNet is the developer behind Guild Wars and Guild Wars 2, and it is at this point that the revelation was made concerning Guild Wars 3. ArenaNet are currently working on Guild Wars 3. Looking at this process, we have considerable competitiveness, although it's not completely profitable. Referring to ArenaNet, I believe that it has increased its competitiveness. ArenaNet and the Guild Wars intellectual property have proven to be the continued driving force behind NCSoft in recent years, and just taking a look at their sales breakdown by region.
So what I'm hearing is that Guild Wars 2 has been the main leading factor to why NCSoft has kind of kept their relevancy. I don't know. I think Guild Wars 2 isn't on that level as far as in comparison to Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft. I don't think Guild Wars 2 is up there, but as far as a complete MMO, it definitely is. Especially with the story. Diving into the story is definitely crazy. Something that I learned about Guild Wars 2 for sure.
For the fourth quarter of 2023, you'll see that NA and EU sales grew by 15% quarter over quarter due to the strong sales of Guild Wars 2. Park further elaborates on NC West by reiterating this is their first year global leap forward.
Now I think about it. Maybe I should do a walkthrough or maybe a playthrough of Guild Wars 2. Y'all let me know down in the comments if we need to do a playthrough of Guild Wars 2. Y'all let me know.
But They are also reorganizing the global headquarters. Park then talked a little about he, the COO, and CEO's claims of excessive financial compensation, even in light of their continued stock price decline. But navigating further down, we see a question asked concerning NCSoft's reputation and how brand value has fallen recently. I just want to point out here that this is not a recent occurrence. On the contrary, this is a reputation that has been deteriorating for the better half of 2 decades.
Damn.
Park states that NCSoft has a negative image among streamers in the gaming industry, and that...
Which is true, and that's why I mentioned NCSoft. Their release with Throne and Liberty wasn't, I mean, especially in their own country of origin, with it not being as successful as they believed it to be, it kind of got a lot of hate. And like he said, they're kind of relying on Amazon to get them out of a rut. So we gonna have to see, especially when it comes to their global release, especially when it gets here, because you know I'm definitely hopping on Throne and Liberty for sure.
These creators will likely change their opinion about them after seeing the quality games that they plan on releasing in 2024. I have not seen a single game announced by NCSoft that has shown any significant alteration in terms of quality or a drastic departure from what they've become synonymous with. The rest of the investors meeting went over topics that were unrelated to Guild Wars, but it looks as though they're anticipating Guild Wars 3 will be a large driving force behind the studio's expansion into the Western gaming market, which could very well be true. The Guild Wars intellectual property, and more specifically, Guild Wars 2, is, for all intents and purposes, the singular exclusive game that is keeping NCSoft afloat right now. Guild Wars...
And I think that is big. That's why I say that they should definitely focus on, you know, trying to improve their intellectual property as far as Throne and Liberty on their own side in their country of origin. They shouldn't be relying on Amazon to boost their sales. But, I mean, I don't know where this boss is. Can we just admit this boss looks absolutely terrifying? The simple fact that I don't know if those are wings or a second set of arms on his back.
3 could bring an entirely new audience to their games.
Is that a Guild Wars 2 boss?
Let's go ahead and take a look at what people have to say. Drakon just says LOL. Yeah, that seems about right. Pink Cube called Park out for lying about having any successful intellectual properties. That's actually kind of savage, I'm not gonna lie. Kids playing NC games or Maple Story have a lower level of intelligence than the average.
Yo, that's a diss. That's bad. That's that's crazy.
Person. You know what? This guy admittedly seems a little bit hostile.
Just a little.
His 50-50 in Genshin earlier today. Let's go ahead here and take a look at Reddit, because Reddit might be a little less aggressive.
Not at all. If you think Reddit is gonna be a little less aggressive, I don't know what you was smoking today. No clue.
Who am I kidding? Oh man, we all know that's impossible.
Yeah.
What's gonna come out first? Guild Wars 3 or The Elder Scrolls 6?
That's a really good question. Let's make the question even harder. What's gonna come out first? Guild Wars 3, Elder Scrolls 6, The Quinfall, Ashes of Creation, Riot's MMO. What else can we call? Blue Protocol. It's so many that's just like announced that companies. Oh, Chrono Odyssey. Don't even get me started about Chrono Odyssey, because I've been waiting for that game for a little bit too long.
You know what? Honestly, neither, because both are probably going to be canceled and mobile ports will be announced. All the hyperbole and hand-wringing in this thread is a great example of why you shouldn't let something like this come out in a business meeting with no details whatsoever.
True.
And you know what? This is actually true, because right now everything is speculation. There are no official announcements that have been made, and everyone is jumping to conclusions. True. Honestly, I think Guild Wars 3 has the potential to be a phenomenal game, just like Guild Wars 2 has been, as long as the people that made Guild Wars 2 stick to the formula
Yes.
that people love. There's
Yes.
no...
And that is, guys, the honest truth. If a game sees that it has become successful from the things that it has done in that specific game, then when you release the secondary form of that game, or the second version of that game, or the sequel, to said game, please incorporate the good systems from the previous game, none of the bad systems, and include more good systems. It's like, what is so hard? What is so hard about understanding the good systems from this singular game? Let alone Guild Wars 2 has been out for a minute. Let alone, I was a kid when I started playing Guild Wars 2. And I didn't even play it for real. And I'm damn near 20 now. Almost, I don't know what I was trying to get into. But like I'm saying, I feel like the company should be able to build from the good, add it to the sequel, and just add upon the good. Why should it, I don't understand why it's so hard.
No need to reinvent the wheel, merely optimize and improve upon what already worked.
Yes.
At the same time, I really don't foresee this game releasing for many years. Probably
I give 4
sometime
years
after 2030. With this in mind, to have
that's more than 4 years. Okay.
To craft the perfect formula. Until then, there's always Blue Protocol on Throne and Liberty, right? Right.
I can't give any personal opinion as far as Blue Protocol or Throne and Liberty, but I do know that I definitely have to get some playthroughs of both of those so I can give my opinions on either one, just so I can see how they play. I don't know.
Right.
But good video. I am excited for Guild Wars 3, but I do think that, like he was saying, NCSoft definitely needs to work on their business structure before they even think about releasing another property, just like Guild Wars 2. Because I think Guild Wars 2 has so much good to its name that if Guild Wars 3 does release and it doesn't even compare or is subpar, it's just gonna do terrible. But thank you guys for watching the video. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It's your boy KNeutron. Stay tuned for the next video. We out, baby.